I walked roads I shouldn't have known, carried wounds I hid on my own. I trusted hands that couldn't hold, and I fell apart in the dark and cold.
There were nights I called out to God with a shaking voice and a broken heart. I had nothing left to hide or prove, just an empty cry reaching out to you.
When I had nowhere
Left to run, God's grace was already coming for me. God saved my life when I had nothing left. God lifted me from the ruins of myself. Not because I was worthy, not because I was strong, but because God's love was there all along. God saved my life in my darkest night. God's mercy broke through every shadow inside. I don't belong to who I was before. I belong to God forevermore. I lived afraid of every fall, carried burdens I never called.
I tried so hard to fix my soul, but the more I tried, the less control.
In the rain of all my sin, God stepped close without condemning. No accusations, no demand, just open arms and nail-scarred hands.
When I let go of my pride and fear, God's grace held me here.
God saved my life when I had nothing left. God lifted me from the ruins of myself. Not because I was worthy, not because I was strong, but because God's love was there all along. God saved my life in my darkest night. God's mercy broke through every shadow inside. I don't belong to who I was before. I belong to God forevermore.
God, teach me now. There were seasons I thought you were far, when prayers felt heavy and answers were hard. I watched the world keep moving on, while I stayed still trying to be strong. I questioned silence, I questioned time, I wondered if you still heard mine. But looking back through tear-filled eyes, I see your hand in every night. Even when I couldn't feel your grace, you were holding me in place. God saved my life in ways I didn't see, in quiet moments where you carried me. When I thought I was standing alone,
You were closer than I'd known. God saved my life, not just from pain, but from the lie I was forgotten. Even in the dark, I was still yours, still held, still chosen. I don't measure life by what I gain, or by the absence of every pain. I measure life by mercy found, by every time you didn't let me drown. I may still stumble, I may still fall, but grace is louder than it all. I am not saved by what I do, I stand because God carried me through. If I'm still breathing after all I've been through, that breath itself is proof of you. God saved my life, and I will say it wasn't loud, it wasn't brave. It was love that stayed with me when I had no strength to believe. God saved my life day after day, not once, but along the way. And if I stand here still alive, it's because God never left my side. Take my future, take my fears, take the weight of all these years. If my life has any song, let it say God carried me on. When my faith feels small again, when I forget where you've been, pull me back to what is true, that I am alive. God saved my life, and I belong not to my past, not to my wrongs. I belong to grace, I belong to light, I belong to God who gave me life. God saved my life, and I won't pretend that I don't need you again and again. Every breath, every day I live because God made a way. So here